Alright guys, welcome back to another Dayz tutorial. So I want to show you how you can enable or disable events. And what I mean is you might have vehicles spawning. This includes things like zombies, what else? Animals, your heli crashes, your police car events, anything like that that is generally in your events.xml file. You can either enable it or disable it. So what you're going to do is go to your mission, and I'm just going to pick my test server because that's where I do all my tutorials from, and go into your MP missions folder and find whichever map you're using. Now, if you go into your DB folder, or wherever your events XML is, you may have a custom folder with some stuff in. But go to wherever your events.xml is, or wherever. If you've got two different like events.xmls, you might have a custom one. You go to like both of these. Now, if we go edit that, now I'm going to, because I know it's not default set to spawn, it's disabled. I'm going to search for, and I've already got it in there because I've already tried doing this. But we're going to search for the bonfire. Now this is something you might want to do around Halloween sort of time, something like that. But find an event, and you can scroll down through the events. Now I'm not quite sure what this loot event is on the map. That's active, but I don't actually think it works. There was one point where I set it to 0 and all my loot stopped working on the map. So then when I put it back to active, it worked. And then on another server I tried it, put it to 0, and my loot was still working. So I'm not too sure if this is meant to affect your loot spawn or not, but I always keep it as active. But yeah, anyway, getting off task there. But this static bonfire, say I wanted this static bonfire to spawn on the map. All you need to do is find this active flag just near the bottom, just above the children section. And you can see in the middle it's 0. 0 means it's not enabled, but if we put it to 1, that means we're enabling it. This is going to then start spawning on the server. So 1, it's going to be like spawning. 0, it's not working, it's not going to spawn. And you can go through and do whatever you want. There's Christmas tree events, you got your contaminated zone. And again, if you didn't want, with I think is it 115, Dayz added, toxic zones. If you don't want your toxic zones on the map, just change this where it says active 1 to 0. That'll get rid of the toxic zones. These are, I think there's it says static. Now this one is the dynamic one, but there should be an actual static one somewhere where it doesn't move, unless it's all in one. But you would just disable it from there. But anyway, we're going off topic again. We're going to find the bonfire. So all I've done is in the bonfire, put it to 1. Now this was 0, so it wasn't working. Put it to 1. And then I'm going to file, and I'm going to save. Now, what you want to do, make sure your server's stopped and offline. My test server is currently online. I always forget to stop it. But basically, stop your server, and then once you made these changes, once you saved it, go ahead and restart your server. It should be good to go. Your events should start working. Now, what I always do when I'm working with like your types XML events, you get files stored from what your current settings are. And what I mean is, if you go to your storage folder, go to your data, and in here you've got like your types file, your events, you got like dynamic stuff from your vehicles and that. But just go ahead, and I'd like to delete all 3, but go ahead and delete the event 001, event 002, and events.bin. Now, I'm fairly certain, and I'm not 100% on this, events.bin is where everything is stored. So the events.bin is the only file that I think you do need to delete, but I always delete 3. So I've always done it, and I've never had any issues. But yeah, go ahead and delete these. And again, you can just delete the .bin, and that should work. And then restart your server. But also, again, I don't think you need to do this. I think once you restart your server, it should recognize the new file and start, spawning them bonfires or, whatever other events you've put active, or if you've deactivated something, it should recognize that. But if it doesn't, and you haven't deleted these, go ahead and delete these. That's all you need to do. Now, for me, because I work on a test server, there's no bases or nothing. I just delete the all storage folder, and that's how I do it. But for someone who's already got a server up running, there's bases, you've got a load of players running around with gear, that's not applicable. You don't really want to do that. Just go ahead and delete the go ahead and delete the events files in here, and that'll be completely fine. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to delete them. My server's not stopped. I'm going to restart my server, and I'm going to log in, and you'll see that I've got a bonfire. Now, it may take me a bit of time to find one, because they are events, and they're not just going to spawn at every position possible. Now, to get the positions, there's a nice easy way. If you go on to Google, go to I Survive. So go to the website. Now, it should already come up with Cherno. If you're on a different map than Cherno, I think this does have, this does have Livonia or some workshop things. It should show it there, but with Chernarus, you're gonna have because this is a Dayz thing. This is going to be default. If you're working with a custom map, there's probably not going to be these custom bonfire locations around. It's something that you're going to have to create. But if you're especially working with Livonia or Chernarus, that's a Dayz thing. The devs are going to, update their stuff. They're going to have the locations in. But what you want to do is go to filter. Now, I've got location names on, and I've turned all loot off. We can see the loot. The only thing I've kept on is static bonfires, and you can see if we zoom in a little bit, you've got these red dot circles on the map with a fire symbol in them. These are where the bonfires spawn, so you can see there is quite a lot. Now, I'll just, wherever I spawn, I think I'm in Berezino somewhere. I'll be. I'll just go to some of the closest ones and see if there's one there. But there's not guaranteed to be one at every position. It's an event that they'll spawn randomly at these positions, so you just have to go around and try and find them. So if we just close that a minute, and also to find out how many there is, and you can also add new positions to find out how many there is, if it actually works. Oh, I think, yeah, if it works. If we go to CFG event spawns, open that up. You've got all the coordinates with the event spawn. Just put bon or bonfire. Scroll down a little bit, and you can see here is all the positions for the bonfire. And you can see there's quite a few. There's probably about 30, 40 there, something like that. And you can add new positions, and you can remove positions. But this is where all your positions are. So if you want to know how many you've got, you can just count these up and see how many you've got. Anyway, let me go ahead and restart my server and all that, and log in, and we'll find a bonfire for you. Right, guys. Okay, we managed to find one. It actually didn't take too long. This is the third location I checked. I checked up in Berezino and up in the town just below it. Couldn't find any, but we just come down to Solnici. There's the Solnici factory, and we, you can see we've got now a static bonfire, accompanied by a few zombies. That's hence why I'm up on the Combine, because I haven't got God mode on at the moment. But you can see we now got a static bonfire. I'm not sure if they actually spawn loot. Oh yeah, there is. There's a bit of loot there actually. Not much, but you can see we've got a static bonfire in, and this is how you enable vents or deactivate it. Now, I don't really want these in, so I'm going to go back into my server files and deactivate them. But it's the same for anything in that event: vehicles, heli crashes, police car events, even zombies if you don't want zombies spawning. Anything in there, even the animals, you can stop them spawning or you can add them spawning. But yeah, anyway, hope that shows you how to easily activate or deactivate an event from spawning on your map. Until next time, guys, peace out and have fun.